Okay, we're going to talk about volume of 3D shapes. So the two shapes that we have on here are a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. So I want you to write that wording right at the top. Triangular prism and a rectangular prism. The thing that tells us is what formula we use on our formula chart. So if I go to my formula chart, which I have right here, okay, and I talk about prism, and I look at the formula. So the volume formula for both of these is going to start out that way, okay? It's going to start out that way for both triangular and rectangular. Now, I'm going to start with this rectangular prism just because I want to start with the simple, and then we'll work our way over. So there's my volume formula again. Now remember, when we talked about this, back when we went through it, we said that big B stands for area of the base, okay? So whatever my base is, and we're going to define that in these pictures, okay? We're going to figure out what the area of the base is. So on this in particular problem, it is a rectangle. So the area of the rectangle is base times height, or length times width times height. Okay? What? Oh, these aren't too bad, so we're going to keep these today. If maybe in a minute, I don't know, we'll see, but right now we are. Okay, so the volume. Okay, I know this is in a 3D form, so remember we're talking about a rectangular prism. Okay, kind of like that. So I'm going to say that the base is this piece right here. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. So the top would be this piece right here. So to find the area of the base, we would say 2 times 8.3. 2 times 8.3. Okay? And then the height would be the number from base to base, which is right there, and it is 4.3. So our problem is 2 times 8.3 times 4.3. So I'm going to do 8.3 times 2 first. Okay, and I got 16.6. And I'm going to do 16.6 times what? 4.3. Make sure you're writing all of this down, guys. Even if you're putting it in a calculator, write it all down. So 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 6 plus 1 is 19. 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. 4 times, excuse me, 6 is 24. This is 26 and 6. 8, 13, 11, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so the volume of this particular figure is 71.38 centimeters cubed. And it is cubed because it is volume. Are you with me? Okay. So that is our rectangular prism. Now, triangular prism is a little bit different. So we're going to rock on over here. It's still using the same form right here. Okay. So we're still using that same form, but our base is different because our base shape is a triangle. This is our base shape. Let me do it in red. Okay, this is our base shape. This is our base shape. So my base is base times height divided by 2. And then this is the height of the prism from base to base, which is that line right there. Okay, remember this is a 3D shape. It would look like that, something like that put together, okay? So the base of the triangle is what? Okay, we're gonna knock these down. So I'm gonna say Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't want to go all day because those are getting a little bit harder. So, what's the base of the triangle? 6. What's the height of the triangle?
4 is 24 divided by 2 is 12.
Okay, now what's the height of the prism? We went with 8. So it's this one right here. Okay, now what is 7 over here? 7 is this length right here. Does that make sense? So in this case, it's extra. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24 divided by 2 times 8. So 12 times 8 is 96. So the volume for this triangle is 96 feet cubed. Okay, so you should have 2 shapes. Remember, on a prism, the prism formula is on here. There's 2 different forms. There is the volume of a prism and volume of a pyramid. So we're fixing to talk about the pyramid next, but we just did the 2 different types of prisms. Okay, so go into the next page. Okay, so I'm going to start with the right here. We got our pyramid formula. It's volume equals 1/3 big B times H. It is this way because it's a pyramid. Remember, get it through your head. It's that way because it's a pyramid. Okay, so this shape is a rectangular pyramid. Okay, and then this shape right here is a triangular pyramid. Okay, so we're going to start out with a rectangular pyramid. So what's my base? What's the shape of my base?
Rectangle.
It's a rectangle. So this shape right here, it's this rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to mark these out. We are going to mark these out. Those other ones were kind of simple, but these are getting a little harder. Okay, so my shape is a rectangle here. Okay, so I'm going to say volume equals 1/3 times base times height times height. The other way I could write this as base times height divided by 3. The 1/3 and divided by 3 are the same operation. Does that make sense? Okay, so 1/3 of 8 times 16 times 9. Is there something easy we could take 1/3 of? 9. 1/3 of 9 is 3. So 8 times 16 times 3. So 16 times 8 is 128. And then 128 times 3. So my volume equals 384 centimeters cubed. Okay, now as I go through this piece, that's what happens once I break it down. This one is even a little bit more. It's because it has a different kind of base, so we've got to pay attention to what the base is for this. Okay, so I'll let you finish writing this down, and then we're going to move over to the next one. Okay, so moving over here, triangular pyramid. We're still going to follow the rules of volume equals 1/3 big BH. But our base is now a triangle, okay? So that's going to change some things. It's going to be 1/3 times 1/2 base height, or base times height divided by 2, whatever makes you happy there. And then times height of the the pyramid. So 1/3. What's the base of my triangle? I'm just gonna do 7. Okay. What's the height of my triangle? 5. Divided by 2 times the height of the prism. Pyramid, which is 6. It's 6. This is not necessary. This is the height of this. This is the height to the top. Okay? So I'm going to do 1/3 of 6 because that's easy for me to do. What's 1/3 of 6? 2. 1/3, or 6 divided by 3 is 2. What's 7 times 5? 35. Okay? And then I can mark this out if I wanted, but I'm going to do 35. I don't know why I didn't change that to 30. Oh, I guess I was showing you the step. Then 35 divided by 2 times 2. You can cross this out, right? Or you could do 35 divided by 2 and get 17.5 and then multiply it by 2 and get 35. Okay? Does everybody see kind of how we did that?